use someone else's work as your own, and you are using referencing. You might be using the same referencing. The bibliography. When you talk about bibliography, you have the same bibliography, or he might even change them. Okay, but here what happens is he doesn't use the ideas. He uses the ideas without giving credit. We were talking about giving credit. He doesn't give credit to the other, in other words, he doesn't use any referencing. So we have two types of referencing. What is it? One is in-text referencing and the bibliography or references at the end. Okay, reference list. Now he doesn't use any of these. All right. So it can be a. By the way, I have a question. Up to how many words can you use, without referencing? Is there if you are supposed to show the referencing for each of the ideas that you take from? Okay. My question is not about taking the ideas and showing the referencing. Can you take sentences from other authors and show referencing in text referencing and bibliography, and is it okay? Can you just take these sentences? Right? Without changing. Without changing.
Yes,
Can you use these sentences without changing?
Yeah, we call it quotation.
That's the point. If you use quotation marks, you can use them. If you don't use quotation marks, then who will detect it? Who will detect it? Turnitin, software will detect it.
Mr. Babu, there's a percentage also for the quotation. It's not the whole work.
Yes.
You make a quotation and you reference it.
And we have direct quotes, with quotation marks, up to 40 words only. There are some rules about this. You can take 40-word quotation. You can use inverted commas. Inverted commas. Now, if you take more than 40 words, what do you need to do?
Paraphrase.
Do you know that?
Paraphrase it.
You have to paraphrase it. One solution, you paraphrase it. The second solution is you can show them in a different style. See, you have your paragraph there. Within the paragraph, if you use a longer quotation, more than 40 words, you know what you need to do? You have to narrow the section. Narrow the section without quotation marks. You don't have to show the quotation marks, but the referencing must be there.
But Mr. Babu, here 40 words for how many number? For example, you have assignment of 8,000 words.
I'm talking about research essays and research, not essays, research reports. Academic writings, including research reports. Long pieces of writing, not short ones. Short ones we cannot use these. In IELTS we cannot use these quotations also. We don't normally use the quotation. We can use proverbs, but not quotes.
Paraphrasing not allowed?
Paraphrasing is allowed. You can use paraphrasing, but you have to. If you take ideas from others, you have to show reference in text and. Okay, now so self-plagiarism, we have already seen it. The same work. So yes.
That means if I am preparing something this year, and I am repeating the same lecture next year.
Use it for another person for another assignment. We have two assignments here. You cannot use the same assignment for another teacher for another assignment. Same, even your work cannot be repeated. If you repeat it, maybe you could take parts of your earlier assignment. If it's relevant to the next assignment, you can use it. But you have to show that. You have to tell the teacher, or the teacher should be aware of that. Now, if you don't tell, and if the teacher doesn't know, it's okay. See, ultimately the teacher is responsible for detecting it. I'll come to these, how to detect, I'll come to those. Falsification and fabrication, they look similar. What's the difference between these two? Do you know? Falsification and fabrication.
Fabrication taking some part fabrication.
Let's talk about falsification. Here,
Changing
you take data from other sources and you change the data. Why do you change the data? Because to suit your statements or hypothesis. You have a hypothesis and you take data from other sources, but you change it. You take all the other things, you know, like the referencing details and other things. Okay.
So it is research for showing a specific result.
Yeah.
This
what
is the
happened.
purpose of it.
And I think
Yeah.
we are aware of this in
Yeah.
modern times. Advertisements, you know,
Yeah.
how the industries
They will direct the research toward their
towards
benefit.
their goal. You know, they
yeah.
have what is their goal? To sell
Yeah.
the product.
Yeah.
In order to sell the product, they change
The results.
the data,
Mm.
percentage, so the results itself. They change the results itself. Fabrication is, what is fabrication? It's actually
Creating something which is not
but which is
accurate.
not real.
Yeah.
You create.
Not
You
really.
don't do any survey. You don't do any research, but you just create the data, which is not acceptable. So these are the 6 types of. Now we have to see which one of these are relevant in our scenario.